Welcome to physiology class. So today's section we are going to see about posterior pituitary. Okay. So last class we saw about the anterior pituitary functions and what are the hormones. We described detailedly about each hormones. Okay. Now we are going to see the another part of the pituitary gland, that is the posterior pituitary. Okay. This posterior pituitary gland contains the three parts: pars nervosa. The first part is the pars nervosa, infundibular stem, and the median eminence. Okay. Pars nervosa, infundibular stem, and the median eminence. It contains the three parts: pars nervosa, infundibular stem, and the median eminence. Next, histology of the posterior pituitary. So it contains the two things. One is the pituocytes. Second one is the unmyelinated nerve fiber. Unmyelinated nerve fiber. So you have to be listen. Pituocytes. It is the fusiform cells derived from the glial cells. Glial cells. It is the fusiform cells derived from the glial cells, and these will not secrete the hormones. The pituocytes which not secrete the hormones, these will support the cells. It is the supporting cells. Next, come to the unmyelinated nerve fiber. This unmyelinated nerve fiber, myelinated means Schwenn cells will be get present. So the unmyelinated Schwenn cells will be get absent. So these unmyelinated nerve fiber are get formed by the supraoptic nucleus and the paraventricular nucleus. Okay, these two nucleus will forms the unmyelinated nerve fiber. Okay, from that only the unmyelinated nerve fibers will be get arises. The fibers which are will get arises. So these two are situated in the hypothalamus. This is the hypothalamus part. This is the pituitary gland. Okay. So next come to that action. Pituitary. Sorry, we'll go to the hormones which are secreted by the posterior pituitary. Okay, hormones are which secreted by the posterior pituitary. So what are the hormones which are secreted by the posterior pituitary? The two hormones are there. One is the ADH hormone and the oxytocin hormone. Oxytocin hormone. Okay. So actually this in the posterior pituitary there is no hormone secretion. There is no hormone secretion in the posterior pituitary. So the hormone secretion is in the hypothalamus. Because of this, pituocytes will not secrete any hormone. This posterior pituitary is made up of pituocytes and the unmyelinated nerve fiber. So in the posterior pituitary there is no secretion of hormone. The hormone is secreted in the hypothalamus. The hormone is secreted in the hypothalamus. So the hormones are get transporting from the hypothalamus to the posterior pituitary. Okay. So while transporting, how it will be get transported? Through the hypothalamo-hypophyseal tracts. Hypothalamo-hypophyseal tracts. By the tracts nerve fibers, it gets transporting from the hypothalamus to the posterior pituitary. While it get transporting, more number of proteins will be combined to transport to these hormones. So they will call the proteins as a neurophysins. We will call as a neurophysins. So this is called as a neurohormone. So because of more number of proteins are get transport from the hypothalamus to the posterior pituitary, by that the hormones will be get transporting ADH and the oxytocin hormone. Okay, the both hormone will be get transport from hypothalamus to the posterior pituitary. These hormones are situated at the nerve end. Okay, from the nerve ending, when the impulse it generates from the hypothalamus, the hormone, the ADH hormone will come to the posterior pituitary. From that nerve ending, this is the nerve ending, the ADH hormone will be get released into the circulation. Okay, it get released in the circulation. In the posterior pituitary, the hormone will be get stored. Okay, from the posterior pituitary, the hormones will be get releases. It get releases ADH and oxytocin. So neurophysins. This neurophysins, the two hormones are there. This is oxytocin, ADH and the oxytocin. It has the binding proteins. So neurophysin 1 is the binding protein of ADH. Sorry, neurophysin 1 is the binding protein of oxytocin. Neurophysin 1 is the binding protein of oxytocin. Neurophysin 2 is the binding protein of ADH, antidiuretic hormone. Neurophysin 1 is the binding protein of oxytocin. Neurophysin 2 is the binding protein of ADH. Okay. So now we listen to the source of secretion of ADH. Why you need to get source? How the ADH hormone will be get source? See, supraoptic nucleus and the paraventricular nucleus will secrete the hormone ADH. Supraoptic nucleus and the paraventricular nucleus secrete the hormones. These hormones are get transported in the posterior pituitary via through what? Hypothalamo-hypophyseal tracts. Okay. So next. So these hormones are flows in the axonic flow. The hormones are which flows in the axonic flow. So what is the half-life time of the hormone ADH? It has 18 to 20 minutes. It has 18 to 20 minutes, and it is a polypeptide hormone. It contains 9 amino acids. It is the polypeptide hormone. It contains the 9 amino acids. Now we will go to the actions of ADH. What are the actions done by the ADH? ADH will do the two actions. ADH will do the two actions. The first action is the retention of water. Retention of water. First action is the retention of water. Second is the vasoconstrictor. Okay, or vasopressor action. Vasopression action. Okay, vasopression action. Okay, two actions are done by the ADH: retention of water, vasopression action, and vasopressor action. Okay, so the first action we'll see of the ADH, retention of water. So in the retention of water, the ADH hormone will be mainly act onto the kidney. The ADH hormone will be mainly act onto the kidney. Mainly this ADH hormone will be act onto the kidney. Why this ADH hormone will be act onto the kidney means because the ADH function is to increase the reabsorption of the water. To increase the reabsorption of water from the collecting duct and the distal convoluted tubule. Collecting duct and distal convoluted tubule. Okay. This ADH hormone will act onto the kidney to increase reabsorption of water from the collecting duct and the DCT. Okay. If in the condition, if the ADH hormone will be get absence, if the ADH hormone will be get absence, what will be happen? More number of loss of water will be takes place in the urine. Okay, in the urine more number of water will be excreted. So that is called as a diuresis. They will call it as a diuresis. More number of water will be excreted in the in urine. It's called as a diuresis. So if the condition ADH will be absent, and this condition will be denoted diabetes insipidus. Diabetes insipidus. Okay. If ADH hormone will be get absence, what will be happen? So loss of water will take place in the urine. So more number of water will be excreted in the urine. So what is the diuresis? So what the condition will become? Diabetes insipidus. Diabetes mellitus is different. Where the diabetes mellitus will become the growth hormone. The growth hormone diabetogenic of the growth hormone. So if in the blood level, the blood glucose level will be get decreases. Glucose level will be get decreases. Diabetes mellitus will become. So here more number of water will be get excreting in the urine. The condition is called as a diabetes insipidus due to absence of this ADH hormone. This ADH hormone is secreted from the supraoptic nucleus and the paraventricular nucleus in the hypothalamus. It gets transporting through the hypothalamo-hypophyseal tracts to the posterior pituitary. And these hormones are present in the nerve endings, released from the nerve endings to the circulation. Now we'll see the regulation. Next one, vasopressor action. Next is the vasopressor action. In the vasopressor action, this ADH, so large amount of ADH shows the vasoconstriction. Large amount of ADH shows vasoconstriction. due to the vasoconstriction, blood pressure will be get increases. Due to this vasoconstriction, blood pressure will be get increases. Then this ADH will be get acts on to the blood vessels through V1A receptor. This ADH hormone will be act on to the blood vessels through V1 receptor. Okay. V1 receptor is nothing but vasopressor. Vasopressor 1 receptor. Okay. Vasopressor 1 receptor. Because of what? So large number of ADH shows the vasoconstriction. So while that blood pressure will be get increases. So it act on to the blood vessels. The ADH hormone will be get act on to the blood vessels through the V1 receptor. Okay, this is the function of the ADH, retention of water and the vasopressin action. Okay, next we'll see the regulation secretion of the ADH. Okay, the ADH hormone is mainly secreted it depends upon to the volume of body fluids and osmolarity. Okay, ADH hormone regulation of ADH. Okay, the ADH hormone mainly depends on body fluids and osmolarity. Okay, so these hormones are depends upon to the body fluids and the osmolarity of the body fluids. Okay, so what the condition will come, the ADH will be get stimulated. Okay, that are the two conditions are there which potentially stimulate the ADH hormone. Okay, the first condition is the decreasing in the extracellular fluid volume. Decreasing in the extracellular fluid volume. You know ECF, ICF, extracellular fluid and intracellular fluid. Okay, so it decreases the extracellular fluid volume. When the extra ECF volume will be get decreases, automatically the ADH hormone will be get stimulated from the supraoptic nucleus and the paraventricular nucleus. Okay, the ADH hormone will be get stimulated. The condition will come decrease in the ECF volume. Next, it increases the osmolarity concentration in the ECF. Next, increases osmolarity concentration in ECF. Okay, the two conditions which stimulate the ADH hormone from the supraoptic nucleus and the paraventricular nucleus of the hypothalamus. See, the condition is the decrease in the ECF volume. Okay, next is the increase the osmolarity concentration in the ECF. Okay, this is the role of the ADH to get stimulated. Okay, next we will see the oxytocin hormone. So before that we will be revised one time how the ADH hormone will be get stimulated. The ADH hormone are secreted from the supraoptic nucleus and the paraventricular nucleus of the hypothalamus, and it get transported to the posterior pituitary via hypothalamo-hypophyseal tracts. Okay, hypothalamo-hypophyseal tracts, and when it gets stored, more number of proteins will be get transported through these hormones. So they will call as the neurophysin. So neurophysin as the binding proteins. Neurophysin 1 is responsible for oxytocin, neurophysin 2 is responsible for ADH hormone, and these hormones are present in the nerve ending and it get released into the circulation. So they will call these as a neurohormones. And source of secretion of this hormone. Next, mode of action. It has the two action: retention of water and the vasopressor action. The retention of water, so it mainly acts onto the kidney to reabsorb the water from the collecting duct and the DCT, distal convoluted tubule. Okay, if the ADH hormone will be get absent, what will be happen? The water reabsorption will be get loss. Okay, loss of water in the urine. So more number of water will be excreted in the urine. So this process is called as a diuresis. So So what the condition will come? Diabetes insipidus. Diabetes insipidus. Next is the vasopressor action. So vasopressor action, large amount of ADH shows the vasoconstriction. So by that blood pressure will be getting increases. Then this ADH hormone will be act onto the blood vessels through the V1 receptor. Okay, V1 receptor is the vasopressor 1 receptor, V2 receptor is the vasopressor 2 receptor. Okay, V3 receptor is the vasopressor 3 receptor. We'll see that and all in the higher studies we will be see. Okay, next we will see the second hormone is the oxytocin hormone.